Good evening and welcome to the Joel Taylor Show here on the back porch at Jefferson's of Carrollton. All right, yeah. Put your hands together. I'm Patrick Edson, and this is head coach Joel Taylor. And, Coach, good to see you tonight.
Hey, great to be here. Great to be here at 5-0.
That's right. Went 1-0 again last week as you go 5-0. A thrilling victory on the road, 27-24. Tommy Holden comes in big time in the clutch at the end of the game with the 46-yard field goal to clinch it. But I want to ask you, what were you thinking on the final play? You know, as a football coach, those crazy kickoff, throw it lateral kind of plays, they got to turn your stomach a little bit.
It definitely did, and I'll be honest, it should have never happened. So it was really my fault. You know, I called timeout too early, so they had 1 second left, and so when we had to kick it off, I got my fingers crossed. I'm praying. I'm doing everything to make sure they don't return it, and in those type of situations as well, it's like you don't practice those situations a lot,
right?
So for our guys to get it done and finalize it, was really good.
It was a really gritty performance by your football team. They go in at the half up 17-3, come out in the third quarter. Oh, wow, touchdown 24-3. And then, like most teams that have to travel, play in an elevation change, it seemed like your team maybe hit a wall kind of mid to late third quarter, but they were able to bounce back and do what they needed to do to get the win in the fourth.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the wall. It could have been a various of things. You can blame it on the elevation. You can blame it on the time that we were up. So during that time, it was probably 10:30 our time. You can blame it on, are we mature enough as a team yet? You get up at 24-3, you think you got it. And we got to. I hope we've learned. We got to do a good job of finishing to the thing on last whistle. But it's also important. When they got everything started, it was a 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, and we fell for a stuttering goal. They got a 39-yard bomb on us, and everything kind of started rolling after that. We went 3 and out the next series, and then they scored a 60-yard touchdown. They caught the ball in the middle of the field, and that can't happen, But at the end of the day, I hope our guys have learned from this. Anytime, you have a victory like this, you want to learn from those, those type of things, and I think our guys have. But we got a resilient bunch, man. I tell you what, not one guy on that sideline thought we were going to lose that football game. Even though they roared back 24-24, we stuck together. Defense played their butts off. And other than 3 plays, man, really, I thought defense dominated the day. And I was telling somebody, I said, hey, that was one of the reasons I went for it as far as the fake punt. Huh. It was like on our 42, somewhere around there. And I said, let's go for the fake punt here because I think our defense is going to stop us, stop them. So, and they did. They missed a field goal, man. But like I said, I think it was a lot of learning, coach-wise, player-wise, and we was able to pull it off, and it was an awesome feeling.
The Wolf Pack, that's what I have come up with tonight. David Widener, Jordan Dees, those two guys, the last 3 weeks, it just seems like their connection seems to be getting better and better. And Jordan Dees was huge on that last drive.
He was, man, and he's making some big catches for us, and Davin's finding them. I'll be honest, man. I don't know if you could have handed the ball better. He had some great throws that drive. I think he was actually 7 of 10. In that fourth quarter, man. But he's been awesome, man. The thing that I was most impressed, I was impressed about them throws, but I don't know if you guys were watching now. He had a couple big runs, lowering his head. He had a touchdown run. That's the one that got me fired up. That shows that grit, man, wanting to win the game and will his team to a victory, man. So I give him all the credit, man. He played well enough for us to win that game.
And speaking of Davin, we'll have him momentarily as he's the player to profile here this evening. Other players with big games on Saturday. Once again, David Hogue. He was all over the football field on Saturday. He was a leading tackler on defense.
Yeah, man. He's just so disruptive. And I'm telling you, that's what makes us so good, just being disruptive on the edge, man. David does it week in and week out. Another guy that had a great game, Jeffrey Spate.
Yes.
Jeffrey had, I think he had a sack and a half and a tackle for loss. He had a really good game. So it was really, really good to see those guys. You had Jonell had an interception,
right.
Was able to create a turnover there. But like I said, I think overall, I think our defense played lights out. I was enjoying that first half, man. I was just so excited and just watching those guys fly around and hit them. And we got to understand, man, that was a good offense. Now.
Yeah.
That was that quarterback, he's one of the better quarterbacks in our league. We got the best, all right? So he has to be second,
Right.
But he's a really good player. That running back, man, like, when you see him grab that ball, you hold your breath now.
Yeah.
I mean, he is excellent, and our defensive line controlled the line of scrimmage. Our linebackers fitted well, all but one dang on time. And then the receivers are pretty dang on good. When you get a guy that can catch the ball and make a 60-yard run, you got to have good receivers to do that, man. So my hat's off to that defense, the way they played. But we're going to have that this week too, okay? Yep. So they got to step up again this week.
And so we'll go ahead and take our first break of the evening. And when we return here on the Joel Taylor Show, I will have the quarterback of the West Georgia Wolves, David Widener, here next on the Joel Taylor Show. Welcome back to the Joel Taylor Show, everybody. Give a round of applause to the waitresses and waiters here this evening. We want to say thanks to Jefferson's for allowing us to be here on their back porch. And I have the Wolves quarterback, David Widener, with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, I promised Davin that I would not ask too many hard questions, so we'll see what we can do. Davin, you've been on a journey coming to West Georgia and where you are currently. Some folks here at the porch may not know what that journey's been like for you. You started at Ole Miss, and then you transferred to UWG. Last season, you were playing and then not playing and then playing again. But now you are the starter, right? Tell us about that journey for you. What's it been like for you as a football player, but as a student athlete?
Looking back, obviously it's easy to sit here and say it's great now, but I think I've learned a lot. In both aspects, right? As an athlete and as a person, most importantly, every stop of the way, every season brings something new, good, bad, ugly. It doesn't really matter as long as you learn from it and you grow from it. So, to go through the things that I've gone through have only shaped me to be where I am now. And I'd say the greatest part is that there's always more to come, and there's always room to improve.
Everybody looks to the quarterback, right? No matter what level of football, right? High school, FBS, FCS, and quarterbacks always tend to have to be the answer guy when they're standing in front of a camera with the microphone. How do you deal with that adversity that might come along with being the starting quarterback?
I think that's what you sign up for. I think you have to love that part of it. Sadly, I think, on the contrary, I think the good sometimes comes to the quarterback too much as well, right? I can't do it without, I'm only one person out of 11, out of 22 if you want to put it that way, 24 if you include the specialists. I love the specialists. You have to wear, the bad, and I think, extreme ownership in bad situations can be good at times, right? So I don't ever say, woe is me, or why are they, choosing me if I'm maybe not the one at fault. But, I'll always wear that on my chest because that's the job I signed up for, and that's what you are as a quarterback.
So you're walking onto the field Saturday night in Utah, your team needing a score late in the game. You step into the huddle. What do your teammates look to you, and, where do they draw that confidence from you in that situation?
I think it starts from day one when everybody walks in the door. Me coming back this year, I wanted to take more of a role as someone who gets to know people outside of football. And I think me and the guys have just a great bond truly on the field. So, 24 seconds, 2 timeouts, I believe that was a scenario. There was never a wince of doubt. We did it a couple weeks prior. I put us in that situation. I will take ownership of that. My apologies. But I think, this scenario was no different. We've been in that spot before. Everyone had complete trust in each other. And, it's only 3 plays. 3 plays can make you. And, that's what it was in that scenario. But it wouldn't matter the scenario. I think everybody looks to everybody for support and that trust, and I think that's why we were able to get it done.
Let's wind the clock back a year. This time last year, the team is 1-3 going into the Austin Peay Week. You're 5-0 this year. What's been the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team for Davin Widener?
That's a great question. Again, I think it starts from what we did not on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
The preparation on the field, off the field, Bible studies, dinners, lunches, even just sitting at the student, eating center and just getting to know one another, right? That means something. I think when you turn on our football games, we're a complimentary football group. Everybody supports everybody, and I think that's just the product that you see on the field. It doesn't happen on Saturdays. I mean, Coach Taylor says it all the time, but we truly do live that. And, the work's done in the week. The work is done in the off season as well.
Davin, one final question. I'd like to know, what is it about Carrollton that made you want to come back for this season?
I mean, I think it's the people, and I think it's the place. There's a sense of comfortability here. There's a sense of, kind of home is where the heart is in a sense, and that's kind of where my heart drew me. There was never a doubt, truly. And I mean, in this day and age, it's the portal this and whatever. But I knew what we had coming back. I knew the people that we had coming back, and top down. And I just there was never really a thought as to what I was going to do in the fall. And I'm just happy that it's played out regardless of our record currently.
Davin, thanks so much for being with us on the Joel Taylor Show. And when we get back, it'll be the fans' turn, as they'll have the opportunity to ask questions here live at Jefferson's on the Joel Taylor Show. Welcome back to the Joel Taylor Show on the back porch of Jefferson's here in Carrollton. I'm Patrick Edson with head coach Joel Taylor, and now it's time for audience questions. So if you have a question for head coach Joel Taylor, raise your hand, and Jared Bogus, the man with the mic, will get you set up.
Well, hey, Coach, 5-0.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited for you guys.
Yep.
The game was great. I don't know why you tease these other teams and then take it away from them at the very end. Just go ahead and beat them.
No doubt. Okay? I agree.
But I heard something about your trip on the airplane going out. Do you want to address that?
Going out, it was really coming in, honestly. When we were getting ready to land in Cedar City, it was some wind. It was howling a little bit. So we started approaching down, and then we had to jet right back up. So for guys that never flew before, that was a tough time right there. I'll be honest, with guys that flew before, I was kind of scared a little bit, but I couldn't show that now.
No.
But we got in safely. Now the trip back was a great trip back because we won. But man, it was long. Now we didn't get back in until about 7:30, 8 o'clock that morning. So it was a long day. So got in. For me, I took a little nap. Got about 12 o'clock and got to the office about 12:30. Started breaking down the game and then started getting ready for Austin Peay. But it was a long day.
All right, great question there. Anyone else? There's a big crowd here tonight. I know some folks have got some questions. Oh, here we go, right here.
How do you like your games going far as playing against bigger schools?
Yeah. I'll be honest. I want to do that immediately. We can't do it until next year. Next year we'll face Kennesaw State and Arkansas State. But I always think, anytime you play the bigger teams, I know we do it, to kind of supplement the budget and things of that nature. But I would want to do it anyway, right? Because those teams have more resources, more scholarships, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, like they're supposed to be better than you. Even if you get beat or even if you win, you get a chance to play up to that level. I think kids get excited about that as well. But that's how you get better. You play teams that are better than you. So anytime you're coaching, you're talking about, hey guys, we got to be better here. Well, this is why. You want to beat those type of teams. But I love playing the big teams. No matter if it was Georgia, Kennesaw, it doesn't matter. I love that. And I don't know if you know. Fun fact. When I was at the Citadel, we actually beat South Carolina. We beat an SEC team when I was at the Citadel. So, and then we held Alabama to 10 points at half. It was 10-10 at half. Now, they eventually beat us, but it was 10-10 at half.
I believe Kirby Smart would have liked that on Saturday night. Just
No
saying.
doubt.
So, all right. Any other questions for Coach Taylor? Oh, got one right over there, Jared.
Coach, tell us about Tommy Holden. How did he get to West Georgia, and what is your confidence distance-wise in him as you send him out to win a game?
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good question, man. So Tommy is actually a transfer from Austin Peay. And I didn't meet Tommy until the summer, which is crazy. You know, we was going to bring a freshman in, Simon Zidane, which is doing a really good job. We brought a transfer in, Tyler Simpson from Shorter. And Tyler was booming them things versus us last year, you know. So we thought, you know, we had a really good kicker in Tyler. And Tommy showed up. Coach Brandon Taylor brought him. And he showed up, and he brought his family, mom and dad, got a chance to meet them. And, you know, we showed him around. And, you know, Tommy was like, Coach, you know, would I have an opportunity to compete for the job? And I said, yeah. Like, you know, if you win the job, you win the job. And he sure enough did it, man. I think he went like maybe 33 or 36 or maybe 30 for 36 in fall camp. And we had, you know, a lot of confidence in Tommy, man. He was nailing it. And last year, that was a huge problem for us last year. You know, we wasn't as consistent there. And he gives us that consistency there. But we also, like I said, we got, you know, two other good kickers. You know, I think Tyler Simpson's a really good kicker. Then we got the young freshman that has the big leg. He's doing a lot of the kickoff duties for us, and he's a long field goal guy for us. So, you know, anything past, I think Tommy's kick line is probably 33. You know, so anything past 33, we're going to go with Zidane. Right? Zidane has a big leg. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was a 46-yarder or 44-yarder early in the game.
Yes.
But the reason Tommy didn't kick that, y'all guys didn't see it on TV, the wind was howling, right? It was howling, so we had to kick into the wind. And Simon boomed that thing. It would have been good for 60, you know. And when that thing came off his daggone foot, I was like, holy smokes, you know. You know, but we're very, very talented at that spot. And, you know, just blessed to have that. Those guys and the confidence in Tommy. Like I said, he missed it, but, you know, when he went back out there, I knew he was going to nail it. You know, I really did, man. So, you know, to have that confidence to go out there and nail that, that was huge for him. And he also got the Conference Player of the Week, you know, this week, man, for hitting that game-winning field goal.
All right. Oh, over here behind us.
This question actually came from my youngest daughter, Harper.
All right.
Oh.
She wants to know if you can comment on your second year of coaching experience compared to last year as your first year coaching. Head coach, excuse me.
Yeah, that is a great question. It really is, Harper. So my first year, you know, I was probably drinking water out of a fire hydrant, you know. If you could just imagine that. It just hit me like that, you know. But things have slowed down now. You know, last year I actually had to coach a position and be heavily involved in the game planning of our defense and the implementation of it. Where this year, you know, we got about 20 coaches, you know, and I kind of coach them, and they do a really good job of coaching our kids, you know. So that allows me to, you know, do other things and get us ready in other aspects of our program. So it's been really, really fun, and I'm learning and getting better at that as well. You know, I've always been a, you know, position guy or a coordinator, you know, and being a head coach is completely different. It's completely different. So I'm learning and getting better, you know, at that as well. But things have, you know, kind of settled down. You know, I know how to handle things a lot better as well. So just growing as a head coach has been pretty fun for me. Great question, Harper.
All right. Any other questions for Coach Joel Taylor tonight? All right. Well, we will wrap up the question segment for Joel Taylor, and then when we return, we'll have our final segment, and we'll go over this week's opponent, Austin Peay, next on the Joel Taylor Show. All right, welcome back to the Joel Taylor Show here at Jefferson's in Carrollton. One more time, put your hands together for your wait staff here tonight. And we want to say thanks to Jefferson's of Carrollton for allowing us to take over their back porch every Tuesday night. And so, Coach, let's get right into Saturday. Austin Peay, you're going to Clarksville. They're 3-2, 1-1 in the conference. It should be a good test for your football team, as both teams are ranked inside the top 10, I believe, on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, we get into the meat of our schedule, and it starts with Austin Peay. And Austin Peay, they do a good job. You know, Coach Jeff Ferris, he actually got there last year when I was hired. Yep. You know, so same thing. So me and him are this is our first 2 years, you know, running a program, and he's done a nice job bringing some guys in. I think they brought it. Don't quote me, but they brought in a lot of transfers. So he's building his team, and they're doing a really good job. They upset, you know, MTSU earlier. They actually faced Georgia, was in the game with Georgia for a little bit. Yep. So they got a good football team, man, and I think it all starts with their quarterback. He's a transfer from Mississippi State, does a really nice job. You know, gets you to the right spots when he needs to, and he can also run the ball. Last week, man, he had a couple runs, you know, quarterback runs, man, that was, you know, that hurt Utah Tech, man. So they got a good ball club. They do a good job of running the stretch game. They do a really good job just finding that hole and creasing people. On the outside, I say, man, they can run past you. They got some good talent there, and the offensive line is solid up front. So they got a good football team in that sense on the offense side of the ball, and then defense, they're stout. They're stout as well. You know, I think they're playing well. I think I just heard that, you know, they're actually in front of us in rush defense. You know, so we got our work cut out for us. But like I said, I say it every week, man. I am up for the challenge. You know, it's going to be awesome. I think this is actually the first time that we actually are ranked and face a ranked opponent. You know, and I think that game, you know, it feels different. You know, for some reason, it feels different when you're going against another ranked opponent. And hopefully we do a great job of, you know, practicing this week and getting ready for this week. Because, like I said, it's all about our preparation and how we execute on Saturdays. But excited about the opportunity.
No self-inflicted negatives, right? That's what you got to do on the road to win football games.
There's no doubt about it, man, especially on the road. You know, this is going to be the first time I've been in Clarksville. Never been to Clarksville, and so it'll be probably the first time for a lot of our guys, you know, at the end of the day. So we don't know what to expect. But I think we've been doing pretty good so far. We've had 3 road games? Yep, 3 road games. So you had Sanford and Nichols and the one we just had, Southern Utah. You know, so it's something about road games too. You know, you get away from everybody, you know, and we get a chance to, you know, bond as a team. You know, we always get to the hotel around, you know, 4:30. The guys will start stretching at 5. And then we will have our special teams meeting at 5:30. And then we eat at 6:15. All right, but after we eat, you know, we have a game night. You know, so we got to put up all the phones. You know, put up all the phones, and you know, let's play some games. You know, guys are playing some spades, some phase 10, Connect 4. I even brought my poker table. I love me some poker. You know, so we playing some poker for no money.
I was about to say
no money. It's all fun.
Okay, all right.
You know, but like I say, when you get away and do those type of things, man, in a different element, I think it, you know, kind of bonds your team a little bit, you know, tighter. It really does. So. Just excited, like I said, the opportunity of playing Austin Peay. They came in our house last year and beat us, man. And you know, we felt like we should have won that game, but we had 2 self-inflicted negatives on the last drive. You know, we had a linebacker that should have spilled twice. He spills it, game's over. Okay, game is over. But he didn't, right? And they capitalized and they scored off of that. So. You know, at the end of the day, we can't beat ourselves. That's what practice is about. You know, I thought we had a solid practice today. We got to have a better one tomorrow, and we'll finish it out on Thursday and Friday. And the kids got actually fall break this week, and I think that matters as well. You know, now you know we can practice early on Thursday. All right, give the kids the rest of the day just to chill out, hang out, relax. And then we'll get going on Friday. So I think fall break kind of ended, you know, pretty good for us this year.
All right, if you can't make the trip to Clarksville, shame on you. But if you can't, you'll have a couple of different ways for you to watch the Wolves this coming Saturday. You'll be able to catch all the action on ESPN+. You can also listen to the streaming app, the UWG Game Day app, and also on the UWG Athletics website. And finally, you can catch all the action with Seth Kane and Nick White, as they will be broadcasting on the UWG radio partner for football this year, Graddick Communications, at KISS 102.7 98.7. So for head coach Joel Taylor, I'm Patrick Edson saying so long, and we'll see you next week on The Joel Taylor Show.